Hello everyone, welcome to video 30 of my Claude series. Today we are going to learn something very interesting which is called Worktree isolation. So let's say you want to do three things in Claude parallelly. That means one task should not wait before another to finish. So in this scenario, I would show you guys how we can do it using Claude Worktree. So this is called Worktree isolation, where one task is done in one work tree, second task is done in second work tree, and both the tasks doesn't collide but it is done in parallel, and in the end the result is delivered as intended. So this thing I will show you in a demo, and without wasting time let's get started, as it is very important feature for Claude. So let's first try to understand what a work tree is, right? So a work tree is a separate directory pointing to different branch of the same Git repository. There is no stashing, no branch switching. Work on many things simultaneously. So each work tree is a separate file system directory, and all work trees share the same Git history and objects. You can run separate Claude Code session in each work tree, and changes in one never interfere with another. So this is the command that makes an work tree, but generally we won't type it ourselves. We will see in step 2 in the next slide how Claude runs it for us. So the command is git work tree add, and then we can add the work tree. So it will basically create one folder per branch. So payment service is in main branch already, and there will be folders created per branch, and each folder would be fully independent. There will be separate files but same shared Git history underneath. Why it matters for Claude is each Claude Code session has its own context window. So running agent in separate work trees means they have zero context contamination. That is true parallel work. Now we can see how Claude actually does it, right? So we write this kind of prompt in Claude that I need to implement three independent features simultaneously, use worktree isolation for each agent should work on its own branch. So the feature 1 is this, add rate limiting to post this, feature 2 is add structure request logging middleware, feature 3 is add this, and Claude would eventually create these three work trees, payment service feature A, payment service feature B, payment service feature C, and then starting an agent in each all of those three running in parallel now. So our job here is to basically describe the three independent feature and then say use worktree isolation one branch each, or write it in the claude.md, and then Claude would create each worktree and start the agent, and we can in the end review and merge each branch as its agents finishes. So once it is done, generally work trees are created and closed by default if we write it in claude.md properly. Else we can do like this, git worktree remove and then remove the work trees, or we can use the git worktree list to see all the active work trees. Now basically it will come into our picture then when it actually worth it, right? So instead of writing work tree, we can do branch switching and then do the same task. This will come into our mind, right? So basically we have seen that in step 1 and 2 the mechanics, but before we use it, we should know it when to use it. So here I will show you some scenario based situations. So one scenario is we are working on 2+ tasks simultaneously, then we can use work tree and we don't need to do branch switch. If let us say there is hotfix needed while we are doing something in the mid feature, then also we should use work tree. We should not switch branch because there is a stash risk. And parallel Claude Code agent, and then definitely we can use work tree and Claude will use it like by default. And if we want quick context switch but our like git state is clean, that time work trees are overkill, so we should use branch switch. And if we want to do one task at a time sequential, then also work trees are overkill and we can use branch switch. So there is a rule of thumb we can think that if you catch yourself stashing to switch task, then we can create an work tree, but if stashing is not needed and you want to do sequential task, that time branch switch wins. So whatever we have learned, now we will try it ourselves, right? So first let's say we have uncommitted work plus hotfix and we want to do branch switch without work tree. So this is the command, like basically this is the scenario that you are mid feature with uncommitted changes in checkout.js, a hotfix just came in. So if I run it using branch switch, so basically what we need to do is get checkout minus b will like the branch, and it will show the error as you have local changes, please commit your changes or stash them before you switch branches. So we can stash and then switch the branch, and then even you eventually pop it later. But if we use Worktree here, so what will happen is we can do git Worktree add and then payment service hotfix and hotfix null check. So there are two Worktrees has been prepared, and your mid feature changes never moved. Basically the hotfix gets its own directory, we can fix it, merge it, and then your feature branch was never touched. Now let's say we have 3 feature to build and we are using one agent in sequential. So if we run it, agent starts feature 1 completed, then feature 2, then feature 3. But if we use Worktree agent, so what will happen is Claude creates 3 Worktree, 1 per feature, and starts an agent in each. You only send one message. So these 3 are started parallelly, and totally it is like 40 minutes, because one takes 40 minutes, another 35, another 30. These are like, this can be like a very big task. So if we use Worktree here, it will be done parallelly. Now let's say we have an independent feature, and your question is like, should we use a Worktree for it? Yes, in this case, right, because you have an independent feature that doesn't touch feature as files and doesn't wait on its output. So separate Worktree, separate agent, and merge each whenever it finishes. But if we have a dependent feature, then should we use Worktree? We should skip the Worktree, because feature B needs feature as interface to exist first, and isolating them just means feature B's agent works against code that doesn't exist yet. So we should do it sequentially in the same branch. Hopefully these use cases were useful, and you guys would be able to understand about Worktrees and how Claude uses Worktree internally.